Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So really quickly, to finish the dues of Dawah, could someone get the light so it'll be clear. So we had about three slides left. So this slide, it's talking about listening, okay, and that I thought this cartoon was kind of funny. So this kid comes home from school and says, "My teacher said I don't pay enough attention in class. At least that's what I think she said." So, anyways, so we should make sure that we're good listeners. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was from his sunnah and from his shama'il, we know that he wouldn't speak unless it was needed. Okay, unless he was going to add to the conversation or someone was asking him something. He wasn't just one of those people, I need to be the lead, basically leading the discussion, and I have to be important, I have to get everyone's attention. It wasn't like that. He needed to speak, he would speak. And so listening, he would be usually listening to what people had to say. And there's a long story of Aisha radiallahu anha, and she was talking about there were some women at her house, and then they had left. They were talking about basically their husbands and the way they treat them and different things. And so she mentioned their stories. It's a very long hadith. I believe it's one of the longest hadith that are out there, like 2-3 pages. Okay, and it's like Aisha radiallahu anha tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam like these stories, like 10 different stories about these different women, and it wasn't like ghiba or anything. It wasn't like bad things. But then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the I don't remember which one it was now, but the last story she had mentioned, which was about this one husband who really takes care of his wife and all of these things. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to her at the end, Aisha radiallahu anha, "I am like so and so Sahabi, but I am even better than him." Okay, meaning I will, inshallah, and try my best and respect you and treat you in an even better way than that woman's husband can. So paying full attention, listening to everything that they have to say. This is something that as da'is we should learn how to do and be able to listen to people and give them our full attention. So I mentioned, or I have a few things really quick, also from the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that when he would meet someone, okay? So come on, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate, so stand up over here. Okay, so usually, and this is unfortunate, when you meet people nowadays, I don't know about sisters, for the brothers, when you meet someone at the masjid, a lot of times they're really like, Assalamu alaikum. No, why you so they'll go like this, like a very loose handshake, okay? They won't look at you. They'll just, Assalamu alaikum, sir. Everything well, your family good? Okay. Yeah. Like, are you talking to me or who are you talking to, right? They don't give him attention. The Prophet ﷺ, when he would meet someone, first of all, his sunnah was that he extended his arm first. He was the first one to say salam himself first. That's one thing, okay, or two things. And then he would hold their hand, okay, I mean, don't make it awkward, right? Okay, like that. But he wouldn't let go until they kind of like, okay, I need to let go now, right? And this shows you intent. It shows you how much. You guys need to get notes. Okay, from the office. So the Prophet ﷺ, he showed a lot of attention. And people like Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anh, it's mentioned that he actually thought that the Prophet ﷺ loved him the most. Okay? So one time when there was a bunch of Sahaba around, Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anh, he came to the Prophet ﷺ and he said to the Prophet, he goes, "Who do you love the most?" And the Prophet ﷺ said, "Aisha radiallahu anha." And then Amr goes, "Oh, wait, okay, out of the men." And he says, Abuha, her father. And he said, okay, well then who? And then Umar radiallahu, and like he mentions all these other people. And then Umar finally realized, okay, that he treats everyone in a special way, with attention, gives everyone attention, listens to everyone, and in a loving and caring way. And he realized that it wasn't that because he loves him the most and and his best friend, but rather because he just treats everyone like this. Yes.
They're already starting to formulate their own response to what the person is saying rather than listening to it. What can I say next? Like, what once a person finishes talking, I can give this response, but they're not actually listening.
And I'm doing that right now with you. And isn't it annoying?
Yeah.
It is.
I do that too.
Yeah, and we all do that, and we don't really, instead of like, maybe you could do it in a way that you don't show it so much, but I do that too. Like, I'm kind of like, I want to say, I want to jump in, but you're not supposed to. A good communicator wouldn't do that. Okay? So the best way to do that is give them your full attention, listen to what they, because anyone, they can tell that you're not, is that locked or what's going on? Okay. So people can tell if you're paying attention or if you're doing that. If you're trying to think of how your response will be. And guess what? If you just did that, right? Just imagine what they're going to do. Right when you're responding to them, they're also not listening to you. They're thinking about how they're going to respond to you. Okay? So you have to keep those things in mind when you're talking to people, especially in Dawah. Okay, now this is... Okay, anyways, I thought it was funny, but it's kind of not funny, but it's, whatever. It's on the edge. Okay, so must pay attention to the person when they're speaking. Okay, anyways. Yes.
Oh, that's messed up.
It is messed up. It is messed up, yes. Okay. Did you guys get it, or no?
Yeah, I she's kind of hard.
Huh? It's not appropriate?
No, it's kind of hard not to.
Oh, okay. But some people are like staring at it like, I don't get it. Okay. You got it. Okay. Where's your notebook, Abdul Salam? Yeah.
I have like 32. How am I going to memorize all of them?
You're not going to memorize all of them. Okay. So the last slide over here, the question. Okay. So when you do not know the answer to a question, Ibrahim, that was very nice of you to, share your paper like that. Throw your pen at him while you're at it. Why not? So, okay, the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is about questions. So, if someone asks you a question and you do not know the answer to it, don't try to fake it. Okay, don't try to make up some answer and just give them a response and just think that, well, there's no harm done, right? And I have to act confident. I have to act like I know all the answers. That's not the way to do it. We need to be able to say, for example, get their information, get an email, a number, something, so that you can get just say to them, for example, very simply, that's a very, very good question. It's a very valid question. I actually don't have the answer to that right now. If you don't mind, if you could give me your contact information, I can get back to you on the answer within a few days. Okay? That's it. And simple, you're not doing something haram, basically, by answering them in the wrong way. And you're also getting their contact information so you could keep up the da'wah conversation, inshallah, with them later. Another thing is, if someone is asking very rude questions, okay, or they're being argumentative, don't respond to them. Meaning don't just go fall into the trap. They're just trying to bug you. So just say something, for example, like, I'm not here to argue with you. Okay? Or say something like, we're trying to share our beliefs with you, and that's our purpose of being here today. Okay? Or that's the reason why I'm doing this. And then maybe follow that up with, like, I'm not trying to argue with you, or something like that. And I'm just trying to share my point of view with you. So say something that will disarm them, like, don't say something rude like, why are you trying to fight with me, or why are you trying to do this? And no, don't get offensive, right? Because that's what they want. So respond in a way that, like, for example, tells them that you don't want to discuss this any further if they're going to act like that. But also it's something polite, in a very polite way. Now, what you're going to do for the quiz, now there are over maybe 30 dues. I don't know, there was quite a bit of them. Like Kamal said, there were maybe 30 of them. I want you to pick, let's say 3 of them, okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to write a summary of those 3 points from your notes. You could add to it or whatever you want. And you're going to present, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that. And then each of you are going to come up and give a short 1 to 2 minute presentation about those 3 qualities.
There's like 30. He wants you to pick 3 and do summary.
Yeah, I was thinking just pick 3, but yeah.
Summary of all 3 of them.
All 3 of them, yes. Okay? So just a very, very quick synopsis of what those 3 do's are. Okay? You could also pick from the last lesson that we had, Remember when we were talking about the qualities of a good da'i? So you can take from those too.
About being like ingredients for a good diet.
Yes. So you can take from the ingredients of the good da'i lecture or from this lecture, come up with 3 things or positive things that we should do, and you can use them inshallah in your presentation.